Welcome back. We're back to talk about an athlete who takes long-distance running to extremes. Richard Donovan has won races across the globe, racking up thousands of miles in the process. The Irishman has won a 100-mile-long event in the Himalayas, a marathon on Mount Everest and at the South Pole, and he's taken the Antarctic 100-kilometer title on several occasions. Perhaps Richard's most famous achievement, though, is running 7 marathons on 7 continents in less than 5 days. And I'm delighted to say Richard has joined us here in the studio now. All right, let's start with this 7 marathon thing, because this is absolutely insane. How did you do it, and how many miles did you clock over those 5 days or less?
Well, I decided in the middle of January I wanted to run 7 marathons on 7 continents in under 120 hours. I know a lot of people try to run marathons on continents during their lifetime, and I just wanted to bring it down to the shortest possible time period I could think of. And so basically, I started a race, a marathon in the Antarctic. I then went to Cape Town, then to Sao Paulo in Brazil, Orlando, London, Hong Kong, and Sydney. And I managed to run a marathon, a 26.2-mile marathon in each of those locations, and nipped in under 5 days.
What was your biggest challenge during that crazy sequence?
Yeah, it was all quite a blur, actually, when I think back on it. But I suppose it became difficult for me to keep food down and to keep hydrated. And I think in Hong Kong and in Sydney, I was basically at my wit's end, and you know, even water was coming up. So I just had to keep. I have an ultramarathon experience in the sense that I run a lot of ultramarathons, which are distances longer than a marathon, and that kind of kept me going to cover the 26 miles at that stage.
Do you never think during these ultramarathons and during these long distances, I'm just going to stop? I'm just going to stop. I'm done.
You think about that. I mean, ultramarathons especially are different than marathons. They're more of a mental endeavour, actually. And there's always this battle between the physical side and the mental side, and the mental side has to win out because your body is screaming at you to stop. And, you know,
I normally listen to my body after 10 miles, but
that's what you have to override, basically. You hit a wall, and then you hit a mega wall in an ultramarathon. And you just have to keep moving, you get used to it, and you have what I call epiphanies sometimes, where you question why you're doing it at a very deep level, and you have to come up with the right answers and keep going.
You don't only run in ultramarathons, you organize them as well. Tell us about the one you're organizing next and how many people are going to take part.
I organize the northernmost marathon in the world, which is the North Pole Marathon.
How long is that?
That's 26.2 miles.
Okay.
And I organize the southernmost marathon, which is the Antarctic Ice Marathon on the other side of the world. So the North Pole Marathon is coming up on the 5th of April. I'm bringing over 40 people from across the world to that race. It's a very big field, actually, for a North Pole race. And those runners will encounter extreme sub-zero temperatures, the risk of polar bears. They'll be running on the Arctic Ocean.
And I think this is some video from the North Pole that what we're showing there right now.
That's right.
It's a wonderful...
So you've got bears, you've got ice. So that's going to be a huge challenge as well. Richard, to wrap this up, I wanted to ask you, is there anything you want to run that you haven't run yet?
For me, the ultimate goal, or the last frontier in ultra running, is to actually run across the Antarctic. And that's what I hope to do maybe by the end of this year, will be to run from the edge of the continent to the South Pole and out the other side.
I'm really impressed by what you do. It was great to get you here. Good luck with your future races, future endeavors, and don't give up.
Thank you very much.
Let the mind keep beating the body.